Hey, beautiful people, it's Marissa Monique. I'm just making an extra video to share my thoughts about Ready to Love Season 4 up to this point. So let's get right into it. First of all, I just want ladies to know that there are F-boys in church and F-boys in the Christian community or any religious community for that reason. They're everywhere. Good guys are everywhere. They're at Target, they're at the grocery store, they're at the gas station, but there's bad guys everywhere too. And David is proof of that you can meet someone in a particular community or in a particular arena and have some things in common with them, or they can show you one side of their personality and you think, oh my goodness, like this person is perfect because we have this big thing in common. For example, Liz, you know one of her requirements is that the man that she dates and eventually marries must be a believer. I feel the same way, but I've also met some terrible men in the church, and women talk about this sometimes. There are a lot of pastors that and ministers for that reason that have like very misogynistic type of attitudes, and they are very narky, if you will. And they can be very toxic. Church can be very toxic. Church can be a place where we are being so flexible, so lenient, and so forgiving to our detriment. And when it's good to forgive people, but at the same time, we have to draw boundaries when they are continuing to violate us in a certain way or show characteristics that could be hurtful towards us. So just remember that there are F-boys in the church. These men can send mixed signals, as David is doing. They can be passive aggressive, they can be petty, they can be low effort. It sounds like David hasn't been putting very much effort towards Liz, yet he talks a good game up to a certain point in the show. And she's starting to kind of come out the clouds about giving him so much of a pass for his spiritual beliefs and saying, well, is this really in line with what I would want my man to be and to do in my life in like practical ways? So there's this meme that says, what does it say? Follow your heart, but take your head with you. And I feel like Liz and especially Kyra are doing that in this show. They're showing us how it's done. So ladies, be aware that you can meet good men and bad men like in any situation, any community. I am starting to see how her actually telling David about the kiss might not have been a bad thing, because it exposed his level of toxicity and his jealousy, his propensity to be abusive and to kind of her use her ability to confide in him, how he could use that against her. And that's not really cool. And I would never want, I've been in relationships where I've confided in a man, told him something personal about myself or my family. And then when we're in a disagreement, he brings it up and throws it in my face. That is ugly. Run very, very far away from those people. So we're seeing in this, up to this point where I think, and Stacy kind of, got onto it early, we're seeing that David possibly could be low character, low value, immature, kind of have trash friends too, because I remember when they met Liz, one of his guy friends said, well, is she crazy because she's 40 and she's single? Do you know that is so immature and terrible? Women are not supposed to propose to men. So sometimes women have to wait and discern and live, a longer life in their singleness to kind of, run into the right man. And so I found that comment actually very offensive for someone that's in their mid 30s. I was like, whoa, really? You gonna call her crazy? Because that has happened to me before. A man's been like, oh, well, why are you single? Why did it take this long? Some of us, it's 2021, we've dedicated a ton of time to our careers or to other things in our lives. And so we're all, if we do want to get married, a lot of us are getting married later. So I just wanted to note that. The last two episodes have really exposed David's trust issues, his deep insecurity. He's just not responding in a lot of these situations like he's mature and emotionally regulated, if you will. He seems kind of angry. Seems like he, sabotage things. Yeah, so it just kind of stands out. And there's a lot of men that are in great places professionally, but are so unhealed. And because they're unhealed and they're hurt, they hurt other people. Hurt people, hurt people. And so we have to watch out for that and filter that when we're dating. And I can see that Liz is starting to detect that. Something I want to note about Joelle and Vernisha. I just think that Joelle was really into Vernisha for her body and for her mothering skills, and that he wasn't really taking the time to get to know her. That just seemed to be the kind of what he was on. That seemed to be the narrative with him, is that he was really into her because of her motherhood skills and because she's so cute. But I think he realized, hey, this isn't necessarily the right match for me, even though he's kind of backing out of it like an F-boy. But I think he's just noticing, well, this lady's going to possibly want me to step up. And also Vernisha is starting, I think, to chase a little bit. And also she played the game where she just kind of, honed in on him, stuck to him, and only exercised one option versus giving some of the other guys an opportunity to get to know her. So I think she kind of shot herself in the foot. And so if her and Joelle don't come together, then that's all she has. And she indeed may be moving too fast for him in her commitment or her allegiance to him. But at the same time, it's good to share your feelings, but sometimes with men, you say it too fast, you act on it too fast, and they just scurry off because men are from Mars and women are from Venus, as John Gray says. Let's see. Oh, also something else I wanted to note about Joelle is that when his friends were interviewing her, it seemed like one of his homegirls kind of had a thing for him. Excuse me, like one of Joelle's girlfriends had a thing for him. It was just kind of weird. I detected something, kind of off. And I'm like, did you actually invite a platonic friend here? Or did you invite like a girlfriend who's a fan of you to, kind of meet Vernisha? It was just kind of strange. So the last thing I want to say is that, like I said before, there is a meme that I've seen that says, follow your heart, but don't forget your head. And that's something that I noticed that Kyra is doing so well. She enjoys AJ. She is really attracted to AJ, but she has also had an F-boy experience with AJ with that credit card paying for drinks snafu, a year or two ago when they first met. And so she has that kind of like recorded in her head, and she can see even signs of him not quite, committing or pursuing even now. And so it is refreshing to see that even though this is a game, she is still very much walking in an awareness that, yeah, I'm drawn to him and I don't want to give up on him, but he's not really showing me the pursuit the way I would need to feel comfortable. And Jason's doing that. And so a lot of us women, we can't just go off of smoke and fire and passion with someone. We need commitment, and we need someone that is actually going to pursue and kind of put their money, their time, their energy where their mouth is. And that's something that AJ is missing. I also see that with Alexis. Alexis, I think, is kind of coming away from Ron and realizing, okay, I was kind of going where my heart was because I'm so glad that he chose me. But my head, wait a minute, I believe in the Lord, and that's really something that's very important to me. And maybe Ron isn't quite there with that. But at the same time, Alexis has the ability to be distracted by AJ. And so she, I think, is going to be kind of dealing with an inner battle because AJ presents a lot of that smoke, that fire, that passion. But is that all that is there? That's all I got, y'all. Just something to think about. These are just my thoughts on Ready to Love Season 4.